Okay, we'll be doing that at the usual time. That's all at the break and at the end of the stream. Let's adjust that. Okay. Let's make sure that's working. Yep, our mic's working. Okay, I think we're ready to go live. So I'm not going to do it just yet. I am going to do it a slightly different way. Oh, please tell me this works. Please, this won't go screwy. There we go. Oh, fantastic! It worked. Right. Okay. Good evening, folks. Welcome to Star Trek Adventures Damocles. It's going to be a different one today, although we're using the same overlay and stuff as before. Going to be basically handing it over to Hanno, which on my screen is that. He's right at the end of the on here, but on the Discord he's up in that direction, so it's a bit confusing for me. Basically, I don't know what's going to be happening today. All I know is it's set in the TOS era, or the original series, however you want to call it. I'm going to be playing a Vulcan, and that's about it. That's about all I know. So, in the meantime, I've modified the credits for this particular episode. So, fingers crossed I haven't ballsed this up. Here we go. Soon find out in a minute if I haven't completely effed this up. Yes, it worked fantastic. I've modified the opening credits, as you just saw, with our new character names. But from this point on, I'm going to hand things over to Hanno. Over to you, old boy.
Thank you.
Before that, I'm just going to close the chat and we'll answer any questions and stuff like that during the break and at the end of the stream. So, over to you.
All right. Thank you and welcome to this TOS themed episode called Figments of Power. To start off, would you briefly introduce your characters so people know who they are dealing with? Chris, why don't you start?
Okay. Tonight I'll be playing Lieutenant Solek, a Vulcan who grew up on Vulcan and is basically a computers, genetic, physics. He's basically an all-round science officer. He hasn't gone through the colonel yet, but in many other respects he is a stereotypical Vulcan.
Chodek would approve. Ross?
I am Rimal Zirel, and I am of the Gelna species. They're one of 3 species native to Beta Rigel, and they live on Rigel 5. I am what is known as an exosex Gelna, one of the 4 genders, and I have a sort of pale yellowish skin and sort of a flat nose and ridges above my eyes and tattoo on my face. I am Chief of Security.
And Andreas.
Yes, I'm playing some truly exotic race. I'm playing a human, and I'm playing Lieutenant Timmy McAllister, proud wearer of a red shirt from the engineering corps, and with his expertise in everything to move people around, and is also very xenophile and is on very good terms with the Gorn.
All right. Wonderful. Thank you. And we will now get started.
Very quick interjection for everyone who's watching.
Yes.
We're not going to be using Roll20 that much tonight, so pretty much the graphics are there just to look pretty.
Yes. All right. We will start at the spaceship wharf of Utopia Planitia, where the three of you have just been brought aboard the USS Ardent, a Constitution-class ship, NCC 1842, captained by Captain May Hamilton, a human. And you have just been brought aboard to also the crew complement before the Ardent will begin her own 5-year mission. And we will start with a exterior shot of the ship. Voiceover. Captain's log, USS Ardent. Stardate 3365.3. After the overhaul of the ship and taking aboard new crew members, we have been given a detour. Another ship has requested a new crew member, and we are to travel to Starbase 42 to drop him off before we begin our own mission of exploration. Typical. But it might give us a chance to, as they say, shake out the kinks. And we go to the bridge, where the three of you are making your introductions to the captain.
So who's going to go first?
Well, you spoke up first, Chris. That sounds like volunteering to me.
Permission to come aboard, Captain.
Permission granted.
That's it. Enter my details into the ship's log. Lieutenant Solek reporting for duty.
Excellent. You are the science officer, if I am not mistaken.
You are correct.
I would like you to report to my first officer, Commander Tekwanin, and she points behind her to a science station where a male Andorian is currently working.
Very well, Captain. Nodson gives a very, very brisk, no nonsense bow, walks over to the EXO.
Yes, Lieutenant.
I have been told to report to you, sir.
Yes. I believe you have been assigned quarters?
That is correct. They are adequate.
Good to hear. Why don't you settle in as much as needed and report to Science Lab 2? That way we're all.
Very well. Saunter off to the turbo lift, go in, and head off to the lab. God, I should have got a soundboard.
Ramal strides onto the bridge and immediately starts looking around in a very sort of calculating fashion. And he spots the captain, but then keeps he completes his sweep of the bridge before approaching.
It is a standard Constitution class bridge. You hear the hums and the beeps.
And in a fairly not disrespectful, but his manner is fairly curt. He says, "Lieutenant Zeral reporting for duty, Captain."
Good to have you aboard, Lieutenant.
Good to be aboard.
We will see about that. If you would be so kind as to report to Lieutenant Sustrak, and she points over to a Vulcan who is currently on the security station.
As you command. And he heads to Vulcan.
And he gives you the once over, Lieutenant.
I have been informed that I need to report to you for my assignment.
That is correct. Assuming you have been assigned quarters, I would like you to immediately run a security check of the engine room.
It shall be done.
And that's all the communication you get out of him.
We'll get on.
Captain Hamilton? I'm Lieutenant McAllister. I'm here for duty, but you can call me Timmy. Everyone does that.
I will call you Lieutenant McAllister. It is a rank you have earned.
Of course. Thank you, Captain.
So your specialty is, and she looks on a data fed, but then looks up at you to see what you say.
My of course, my specialties are warp drives and transporter technologies, and I'm pride myself also to be a little bit of an archaeologist and know my way around some ancient alien tech. It's so excited to be on my first deep space mission.
It is indeed a interesting prospect. I would like you to report to engineering, where you will find Lieutenant Izazi. She will give you your first duty.
Thank you, Captain. Proud to be a member of the crew. Yes, Captain. Okay. Goodbye.
And then she has some small talk with her communications officer, asking if the guest has been stored away. And she gets a confirmation about that.
If Solak was on the bridge on hearing that, his eyebrow would be like, "See."
Well, you are transporting a young officer to Starbase 42, but like she said, which you did hear, he is a detour.
Understood.
Yes, so you make your way to the engine room, where you encounter a female Andorian who is chief of engineering. Lieutenant McAllister.
Yes, Commander or Lieutenant Commander?
Lieutenant Commander.
Yes, Lieutenant Commander. I am here to work now with you in your team, and the captain sent me to get my first assignment from you.
Of course she did. Well, why don't you check the interface connections in Jeffrey's Tube 3?
Of course.
She says with a slightly mischievous smile.
Oh boy.
Do we need another red shirt already?
Yep, you need another Timmy.
That's for Jeffrey Tube they use for the hazing rituals.
Yes.
Yeah, I climbed into them and probably am then in the middle of some calibrations.
Yeah, and apparently the environmental controls in here aren't working too well. It is very hot and very humid.
Like on a gun ship.
But you can make a. Let's see here. An insight and engineering check.
I didn't catch that first. The attribute.
Insight and engineering.
I don't think any of my focuses will help here.
Nah.
2 successes, 1 critical.
Nice. Okay. Right. DC was 1, so you gain 2 momentum for the crew. And you figure out that apparently was. You're pretty sure it was intentional. It was a kind of hazing, also seeing how you deal with it. And you dealt with it very well. So after you return and wipe the sweat off your face, she says,
Still grinning.
"Well done, Lieutenant.
Thank you.
I will now assign you to the regular duty roster. And you get a task as well."
Mm.
And we go again to an outside shot. The ship now leaves the Earth sector and goes to warp. And the route has a slight, being a detour itself, it has a slight detour built in to avoid a part of the neutral zone. And it is during the night shift. Solak, you're on the bridge. Timmy is in the engineering room. And Raymal is also on the bridge. You're new on the ship, so you get the night shift first.
Typical.
Yep. And currently in command is the first officer, Squanin, the Andorian. And there is a beep from the communications station, and you hear, "Captain, we are receiving a distress signal." And he says, "Put it on audio." And you just hear it's a standard distress signal. Not Federation in origin, and it takes a while for the translator to figure it out. But then you just hear in very bad quality, "Stranded, need help, stranded, ship destroyed, stranded," over and over again. And the first officer looks over. "Lieutenant Solak, could you scan for the origin of that signal?"
Yes, sir. Okay, so we're all going to roll for this one. That's going to be...
That would be reason science.
Excellent.
I think we just lost Timmy.
We did.
Oh.
We've lost our red shirt already. Get another one out of cold storage.
Transporter accident.
I'm sure he'll be back in a moment. Oh, internet died.
Oh dear.
Okay. Okay. Keep going.
So ignore the technical glitches going on right now. Just listen to our voices, everybody. I need to have like a technical malfunction overlay made or something. Right. Okay. So reason of science, yes.
Yes.
The task roll is 1.
Yes.
Oh, this is going to be good. 3 successes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So two more momentum.
I've got a critical.
Nice.
Sorry.
We're now on Timmy number 2.
I don't know what that was, but suddenly you were all gone. I thought it was some problems, and then everything wasn't working anymore.
It happens.
Competence of a red shirt. We don't blame you.
Basically, anytime you disconnect, your Timmy dies and we get another one.
Timmy number 2!
So
So what did I miss?
Not much.
Okay.
Using my superior
Distress
Vulcan
signal.
brain, I managed to successfully scan for the source of the signal, Captain.
Well done. And you discover that it is coming from an currently uncharted planet in the Chandrasekhar system, from a planet labeled Chandrasekhar 237.
Okay. I'll relay this all to the commanding officer.
So far it's a dot on a map with a name on it, but that's it.
Yeah.
So
Unfortunately, we do not know much about this planet, sir, but
well,
apart from its name and designation.
depending on what the captain decides, we might get to find out more. And he calls the captain. Captain, could you come to the bridge? We are receiving a distress signal. One moment. And after about 5 minutes, Captain Hamilton entered the bridge. She has been woken up, but she is in uniform. Well, what do we know? And then the first officer turns to Solak. Lieutenant?
Captain, we have received a distress signal from this system. It is from an uncharted planet. We do not know anything about it apart from its name. It is nowhere on the Federation records, but the distress signal seems genuine.
Interesting. Lieutenant, plot a course. We'll take a look at this. Inform me when we have arrived. And she then thinks for a second. Well, we have time. And then shakes her head slightly and goes back to her quarters.
I can't do the eyebrow things. Yes, this.
Yeah, I know that one. Right. So you make the detour. It takes about a day to get there.
Okay.
And as you arrive, so like you can make another scan of the planet.
Excellent. Again. Two successes.
All right, that is enough to find out that you can find out a lot. You get one momentum because there is an electromagnetic storm in the atmosphere.
Fascinating.
And so like you know, you can't really get proper scans. You do get it's an M-class planet with an oxygen-nitrogen atmosphere.
So just the basics, really.
Yes, and you are also quite sure that beaming down there would be a bad idea.
Yeah.
And any assistance the ship might provide in a away team would be severely limited.
Lieutenant Commander, if I may speak for a moment.
Yes.
My scans of the planet indicate it is, what is that curious human word, riddled with electromagnetic storms. I believe that a transporter trip through these storms would be most unwise.
I'd agree. That could scramble the signal and, well, no. We wouldn't want to do that to anyone, I think. So, let's get the captain involved. And again, he calls her. and she comes up to the bridge. And she gets the information this time from him. Right. Con, do we still have the distress signal? And the con officer nods. It's weak, but it's there. Right. Then we probably should take a look. And I think it would be a good idea to test our newest crewmates. And she pushes a button. Lieutenant Medic Alistair, report to the captain's ready room.
Yes, Captain. On my way, Captain.
Lieutenant, follow me.
I'll follow
A
you.
red flash runs through the corridor.
Do you have a 2 printed on your back?
No, of course.
It's a barcode.
In the neck tattoo.
Yeah.
Okay. Follow the captain
Okay.
to the ready room.
Right. And you are joined by 2 more crew members. Further security.
Captain, you wanted to see me?
Yes, Lieutenant. You have been assigned a mission. All of you have been assigned a mission. In case you have not met, this is Ensign Thelmon. This is Lieutenant Junior Grade Lewis. And they are two. Well, they are 2 red shirts.
A pleasure to meet you.
Captain saying.
I'm looking forward to getting to know you better. I'm sure we will have a long-standing friendship.
In his mind, Sonic immediately forgets their names on purpose, knowing he'll never have to remember them again.
And they nod and greet you. Right, as far as I'm aware, we're dealing with an distress signal from an uncharted M-class planet. Atmospheric disturbance prevents us from doing proper scanning. And she looks at Sodak for this.
That is correct, Captain.
Always something. Right. I want you to take the shuttle Archer, land on the planet, and find out what is going on.
Yes, Captain.
Yes, Captain?
Thank you, Captain, for not letting us use the transporter.
It would not have been wise, Lieutenant, to do that, not unless you wanted your atoms scattered all over the northern hemisphere.
And I would like to keep my crew as it is, as much as possible.
That is most wise.
I know how they work. They are creepy.
Right. Dismissed. Get your equipment and get on your way. I shall be monitoring your progress myself.
Right. I was going to go to the armory on my way there and pick up all the usual gear, the communicator, tricorder, and the standard Type 1 phaser.
Yes.
Same
Those
except Type 2 laser.
These beautifully designed weapons.
Yeah. And this beautifully designed handbag they call tricorders.
Yes. And you're a Motorola Razr. Never mind.
Did it?
Right. Yes, and you are then headed to the shuttle bay where the Archer has been prepared. By the way, thank you, Twitter, for the choosing of a name.
It was a no-brainer, really, that one.
I mean, there were some scientists, and that is kind of a theme. But you know, he did something at some point.
Yeah, he was kind of scientist too.
Yeah, he had a ship. Okay.
I don't believe he was important to the Federation at all.
Was that humour, Lieutenant Solak?
I'm sorry, I think you'll find that it was the Vulcans who were instrumental in the development of the Federation. After all, we did provide you with the technology to get you out of your solar system.
Lieutenant, you are not quite correct with that.
I just turn around and just give him a unblinking stare.
tiny
Like,
little.
as if it's like
You
no
know,
blinking at all. Just stare at
like
Alistair.
that one crisis where the Andorians helped and the Vulcans did nothing, and then the humans. And we helped all in the quadrant and brought Andorian, Tellarite, and Vulcan together, and
Again,
that formed an
Not blinking.
alliance.
Not blinking. Just,
And Lieutenant JG do is this. I think we should get going.
Oh, yes, right.
indeed.
I quite agree. This is not the time or the place for historical debate.
It wasn't a debate. I was just stating facts.
Even though your
Yes.
facts were slightly incorrect there, Lieutenant.
When two people state different facts, it becomes a debate. I mean,
And this I say in Vulcan. Yeah, I thought Sirac was the one who said that truth is a three-bladed sword.
Ooh dear. I just very calmly looked at him. I put my hand on his
I
shoulder,
grin.
just where the nerve pincher would be. And without actually applying the full nerve pinch, I just put a little bit of pressure on his shoulder. Just a tiny little bit of pressure. Again, we must get ready to go down to the planet, Lieutenant. And then I'll just take my hand off his shoulder and go and sit down in the shuttle. Ooh, no. Straight back.
I think he likes me. We will be good friends.
Right. And the two younger officers, but they have been on the ship longer, just shoo you inside.
Get on the plane.
Lieutenant McAllister, I believe you are a capable pilot?
God, I hope someone.
Am I?
I'm not.
I did have some experience with flying shuttles. Yes,
Well, would you do the honors?
of course.
Mm-hmm.
Control and Connor.
And I completely forgot. This is sort of character in character question. Do the shuttles have seat belts?
I think not.
Okay. In that case, I just very carefully grip the arms of the chair I'm in, visibly tensing.
I mean,
If there were seatbelts, we wouldn't be able to throw ourselves across the shuttle. Every
Yes.
time.
that is a good point. Okay.
yes.
In that case, I just
Remember, there was a new thing in Star Trek 10.
I couldn't remember if the shuttles did or not. I had a bit of a mind blank there.
I don't think so. Right. So, yes, make a control and con check. Difficulty will be 3 because it's the weather was bad. I mean, until you get to the atmosphere, it's fine. Then things get interesting.
Can I take 2 momentum? I take 2
with me.
momentum.
Please do.
That leaves us with 2, right?
Hmm?
We've got 2 left after that, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Oh, right, you're actually using roll 20 for the momentum.
Yes, we're doing momentum and that. Yeah.
Okie doke.
Yeah.
I wasn't paying much attention to roll 20 because I
That's fine.
thought we were.
We are
And
mostly
I've
not
got
doing
4
it.
We
successes.
just used it to keep track of
Ooh,
Yeah, it's 2 normal 1 and 1 critical 1.
nice.
Woohoo!
All right, so you navigate the ship down to the planet's surface. It's a bumpy ride, nonetheless. The shuttle gets shaken about a bit. Yeah,
Kimmy is visibly enjoying it.
it's a 2 or 3 on the impact scale. It's fine. Probably a 2. And you literally looking out the windows, you just see flashes of bright colored light. And then you set the shuttle down. It is an M-class planet. The best way to describe the landscape you find yourself in would be rolling hills. Green grass. Some trees.
That's actually cool.
And
Almost pleasant.
no no sign of civilization.
Whilst it's still in the shuttle, can I use its sensors to try and locate where the signal's coming from? Using the shuttle
can.
signals to sort of give myself a boost.
Yes, go ahead.
2 successes.
All right. Using the shuttle's systems, the signal seems to have vanished.
Yeah, guess they no longer need our help. Back up to the ship, fellas.
That was the most. What's the word looking for? Expedited mission. It's very. I believe the captain will be pleased with our progress.
Are there any life signs?
Yes, good question.
Would you like to scan for life signs?
We
Does
probably ought
does
to,
somebody else
right?
want to make the roll for life science?
Yes, yes, please.
Yes,
Go for it.
and probably your focus would apply here. You had some biology focus, didn't you?
I have xenobiology, if that helps.
Excellent. Yes. Because you're not on Vulcan, yes.
That's why I took it. I think anything
It's
apart
gonna
from
be
Vulcan
useful
is going to be
far more often than it's
xenobiology.
not.
Just 1 success this time, even with the focus.
There are life signs on this planet. They seem to be mammals. You're quite sure of that. You would have to get closer to get a more detailed reading.
Right, well,
But there are mammals on this planet.
then that's what we do then. Because if there's a distress signal, it's coming from some sort of creature, and they're as likely to be mammalian as anything.
Yeah, I'll fly. You fly there.
So you're going to
Alright.
fly the shuttle to roughly where the signal is?
Yeah.
Okay. Go on, you're the pilot.
Yeah, we are through the storm. I don't think it
Yeah.
will be a much of a
It's-
challenge to fly
It's
there.
still overhead, but it's not affecting your flight path. Would you like to do anything particular while you're flying, or just?
I'm just generally sort of scanning, because it's a new planet. Just nothing in particular, just sort of general sort of scanning, picking out what records I can.
All right, and Lieutenant Timmy, anything you want to
I just
particularly want to do?
am just enjoying the view and concentrate on my flying.
Okay, so you're just doing a parabolar
Mm.
course, visibly through the sky. Okay.
Practically taking the scenic road.
Okay. Right. Yeah, you don't have to roll for that. You can if you want to.
That's not
I don't think we're in that.
No, I know that trap. I know that trap. I won't.
The offer's there. It's a DC 0, so you could make a roll
Okay, when?
for
Then I'll
momentum or.
complication.
Yeah, I'll roll
occurs.
for it.
If a complication occurs, I wash my hands of this.
I'll roll for it.
Okay,
He's doing loop de loops or something.
1 success.
1 success. So you get 1 momentum.
They-
Crash into the only tree on the planet.
You found it.
And we found the tree god.
Well,
Okay.
actually, that's a good question. I mean, you described this planet as rolling hills. Are we seeing any other interesting geographical features as we fly? Are
There's some trees, and you can see mountains in the direction you are heading towards. So you are in the far. At some point, you see that you're approaching a mountain range. And Solak, you can make a science and insight check.
Ooh, okay. That's going to be... Right. 2 successes.
Okay. Yeah, there are definitely mammals of a higher order up ahead.
Sort of like ape level, or is that too...
Yeah, no, the ape or intelligent. They might even be intelligent.
Me friends?
and apparently they also have some kind of lower mammals in their vicinity. So there might actually be some animal husbandry going on.
Upon seeing the comment of the indicators of the, should we say, the lower mammals, I basically turn to McAllister and say, I believe there are some creatures here that would match you in your intellectual capacity, Lieutenant.
So many episodes to get one public single emotion out of Tolek. A few minutes and
This is
I
all said with a
picked the wrong
straight face, by the way.
That's the
Yes.
sickest burn when it comes from a Vulcan, because that means they actually believe it.
yeah.
And you also do not know what his readouts are.
And this is why I want to play a Vulcan.
Right.
Oh man.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. The
And
camera's on.
while you're flying, you get a very scratchy transmission from the Ardent. Captain Hamilton to Shuttle Archer. Status report.
I sort of indicate to. So,
I'm
back.
I'm indicating to Remal.
Okay, then
I am flying. You're doing nothing.
I'm doing the whole thing on the scanner.
Oh my god, we're like Laurel and Hardy or something. I acknowledge that. Captain, we have discovered mammalian life forms on the planet. Some are of a higher order, perhaps human or similar, and others are of a lower order. We found a cluster of them together, perhaps indicating some manner of animal husbandry. And we are approaching in the shuttle now.
Excellent. Do they show any signs of advanced technology?
We do not know as of yet, so perhaps Lieutenant Solak, now would be a very grand opportunity to scan for power sources.
I only got one success, assuming it's
Yeah. Yes.
just the one. And I doubt that was close. I was saying that was close to getting a.
With the what the shuttle's capable of, you do not read any power source.
Captain, we have not detected any power sources as yet. That does not mean they are unpresent, but our sensors have not been able to pick any up if there are any available.
Right. Noted. I'm sure I do not have to remind you of the Prime Directive on this.
The what now?
The Prime Directive, Lieutenant. You did pass
I'm not-
Zarel's
rudimentary Starfleet training,
shaking
didn't
his
you?
head now.
I'm not sure there was a prime directive in the Galactic era already.
Season 1, episode 22. 21, sorry.
Okay,
Oh dear.
I stand corrected.
You've been schooled.
Captain, I'll direct this to the so, Captain, is it to request transfer to another ship?
Indeed it is, Lieutenant. Armed out.
Very well.
Well, with the Prime Directive, which definitely does exist in mind, we should probably land some distance away and approach on foot.
But we could be gods.
Yeah, that's exact sort of
Again,
thing.
I just very gently put my hand on his shoulder. Sort of, again, just as like, that is not why we are here, Lieutenant. And again, just a very, very gentle squeeze.
You don't understand any humor, don't you?
I understand it, Lieutenant. However, the purpose of a joke is to induce humour.
Yeah.
You're saying you're not funny.
That is correct.
I know. The Gorn have a better sense of humor than this one.
They also smell better than you.
Yeah, that's the
Okay,
thing you Vulcans have
I
with
was
the
just say
humans.
that was a joke.
No, I've heard that Vulcans don't like the smell of humans.
It is
Right.
imposing.
All right. So,
All the more reason to get out of this shuttle.
Agreed.
How about we land?
how do you want to approach the potential settlement?
I would. This is slightly out of character. I would suggest that we land on what we perceive to be the edge of the settlement, somewhere semi-secluded, but not too secluded, so that
Somewhat.
I have nothing against it, little more. We should definitely land somewhere where they don't see that we land there. Like
Yeah, I feel like
looking
further
up
away
at
than
the
the
sky
edge of
and
the
seeing.
we may wish to approach the location from a vector that does not show off our shuttle, just in case.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Timmy can make another piloting check to see if you find a proper approach vector and landing spot.
Do you see?
Like I said, it's not heavily. There's no heavy trees or something, so it's a bit trickier. Let's make it 2.
I'll take a momentum.
Good call.
Well, I did succeed.
Yes,
That's a good thing.
but
But I also rolled a complication.
okay. You succeed. You land the shuttle a bit off in a clearing of a cluster of some trees, where you think it will not immediately be spotted.
I believe that would be a adequate landing spot, Lieutenant.
I
indicator.
think so.
To indicate the way.
Yeah, I think so too. Whoa, we are agreeing on something. That might be the beginning of a friendship.
What was that phrase that I heard one of the humans in the mess hall say the other day? I would rather remove my skin with a rusty cheese grater. I'm not entirely sure what that means, but I believe it was an unpleasant comment.
I know someone that can wrench that for you.
It's a bit hyperbolic for a Vulcan, to be honest.
You're not a standard Vulcan.
Getting
Okay.
that impression.
Yes.
So you land your shuttle,
Hmm?
set it down smoothly, and what do you take with you?
Well, my tricorder, my phaser type 1, and my communicator.
The
Just
3
checking.
items that are actually on my sheet.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
I take,
And of course the uniform.
Unbolt the chairs, take them with.
I'm just checking.
Presumably the shuttle will have things in the nature of emergency supplies.
Yes,
I'm
and
going to bring a medipack with me or something just to be on the safe side.
one of the red shirts, Lieutenant Lewis does have a first aid kit.
Excellent.
Right. So we should. Obviously, this is sort of in the territory of hand wavium, but we will probably
Yeah.
take some food supplies as well.
Yeah, but basic stuff really.
Okay, yeah, all right. Okay, and then you open the shuttle door.
Yes.
Before
Yes.
I open the shuttle door, it's like, have we checked the local environment to make sure that the air is in fact breathable and there are no no contaminants?
I open the shuttle door and take a deep breath in. It seems to be
I'm
breathable.
just sort of standing there like as if I was about to scan it. So.
Yeah, it's breathable.
Tricorder goes back on the belt.
And you step out into a clearing, again, green grass, trees that you would describe as trees.
That's how I
And-
like my trees.
Yeah. And apparently some kind of light pollen activity in the air.
Uh-oh. That's an out of character uh-oh.
Yeah. This is our character as well.
Perfect.
Do you
So
not like the sound of pollen?
we've had bad experiences with pollen.
You haven't? Well,
Well, the crew has,
yeah.
but not this particular. Anyway,
Yeah.
In a few centuries' time, Starfleet are going to be a lot more careful about pollen. but right now...
At some point they will learn. All right. Right.
so I sort of actually do get the tricorder back out and the little scanny thing start sort of generally
Yeah.
waving it around, see if anything sort of pops up that's, even though it's a new planet, that's like unusual.
Make a science and insight
Okay.
roll.
That I can. One success.
Okay. You aren't quite sure what it is, but you are certain it is not pollen that is floating in the air.
I thought this came out that.
But it doesn't. You don't detect any toxins.
Can I sort of get like a sample of it and just sort of, like, if that makes sense, to sort of really
Yeah.
sort of scan it properly as close as I can? I mean, is it,
Yes,
or is it
you-
just,
you-
or is it just
you-
like too fine for me to sort of?
Nah, it's kind of visible,
Okay,
and it does drift to the ground, so you could pick up a sample.
okay. I'm trying and get a really good examination of this pollen.
Mm-hmm. All right, roll again.
One success again.
One success again. You notice that it is part of some kind of previously undiscovered fungus,
Fascinating.
Uh-oh.
but you would need better equipment to get more information.
I want to gather up some of the pollen and put it like in a little sample container or something, just so I can
Right.
take it back to the ship.
Yeah.
Mushrooms.
This explains a lot about Timmy. I'm going to be using my tricorder specifically to scan for life forms as we travel.
Okay.
Because I'll leave the scientific exploration to the science guy. But I'm more concerned with keeping them alive, so...
All right.
I'm just
So-
happy to explore a new world and meet a new civilization soon.
I mean, maybe I won't keep Timmy alive.
All right. So you make your way on foot,
Push off the cliff.
and after about 20 minutes walk, you notice, and the two the two redshirts. I'm gonna refer to them as redshirts.
Redshirt 1, Redshirt 2.
So, I mean, we've only got one person on this crew that is not actually a red shirt.
Yes,
So, yeah.
that is correct. You notice a dozen, well, actually 24 life forms approaching at a faster than walking pace.
Okay. I inform the rest of the crew and get out my phaser. And I look around immediately for a potentially defensible location. Some, I don't know, what's classic TOS? A few rocks that we can hide behind, I guess.
There are no rocks.
Mm.
It's
Okay.
pretty open.
Maybe a tree.
A tree, yes. It's more
You
like
can
a tree.
hide behind. You can hide in the tree. Climb up.
How distant are these life forms? I mean, presumably we can't see them.
No,
we
you
just
can't see them yet. Yeah, it's about, they're probably about a kilometer away.
Okay, so there's a reasonable chance they haven't seen us.
Yes.
Is it conceivable that the 5 of us could hide in this tree and not be spotted?
No.
I don't want to hide.
It's not a large tree. It's a
Could we all
smallish.
pretend to be trees? You know, if we all went to like acting school.
Go Brechtian, you mean? Well, you can try.
Well, in that case, I don't think we've got time to pull off some elaborate camouflage.
Why
So-
hide at all? Maybe they are friends. Maybe they're
Well-
friendly.
Maybe. But I was exploring my options, as a good security officer should.
However, we must remember that the Prime Directive is still in force, as much as possible.
Yeah, if those people are suspectable to the Prime Directive, there's still someone around here who made that distress call.
That is...
We don't know much about. Don't assume. Explore.
Remind me to request that you have a history lesson on cultural contamination when we get back to the ship, Lieutenant.
Right. Well, we might as well keep moving towards them if they're in the direction we need to go.
Very well. Just
I
starts
mean, to be fair, the only lead we've got right now is that we want to go towards Mammalian Light. So,
Yep.
Okay. And as you walk along, at some point you see cresting a hill ahead of you 12 humanoids dressed in a metal-worked armor. And they are sitting on riding animals that resemble a mix of an earth horse and moose, but they do have 6 legs.
interesting.
That's awesome.
And they,
Nice.
as they see you, they kind of spread, so they form a half circle.
that's what I'm telling the rest of my crew to form.
Oh, you want to circle the wagons? Okay.
Sorry, sorry, this is out of character, but I'm just getting Lord of the Rings flashbacks.
Yeah. Why aren't you playing a teller right,
Oh,
Ross?
that would- No. We must be semi-professional about this.
Say so.
One of them who has the most adornations on his armor approaches and just takes his mount a few steps forward. Who goes there and dares to enter the kingdom of Sir Parnigal?
Okay.
We are just mere travelers, oh great knight. We didn't know we crossed any fiefdom that's fiefdom or border fiefdom borders that might not be crossed on this path. If we made any offense, we are sorry about that.
Who do you serve?
The great Queen Hamilton.
And he kind of looks at the other knights. It's unspoken.
We are from very far away, across the water. And then they go, but what's water?
I'm just looking at the DC just going, what have I signed up for?
I'm just rolling with what Timmy's doing here.
This is
We're in it now.
Yes, that green-blooded goblin said something about cultural domination. I'm just winging it.
You will surrender your weapons and come with us peacefully.
Do we look like we have any weapons? I asked Rimal.
Just look down at the phaser on my sort of surreptitiously, sort of like.
Do they recognize that as weapons?
Apparently they do. Otherwise they wouldn't have asked. And the 3 security guys have their weapons drawn.
Yeah, we do. But then again, our Type 2 phasers do not look exactly the same to Type 1, so...
That is true.
But yeah, I mean, I guess handing over my phaser.
All right. And it's stored in the saddlebag. They do not investigate it. It's just put it away.
Yeah, I guess give them my stuff.
Okay, yeah. All is just put away. They do not. They touch it as little as possible, and put it away. And then you are helped onto the mounts, and you start riding towards that mountain range. And they're bigger than a horse, so they easily can fit 2 riders.
Yes, but since if we're not actually practiced riders, I imagine it's an incredibly uncomfortable experience.
Yes.
Well, even though it's uncomfortable, whilst this is going on, Solak is basically, because he's got a focus in xenobiology, he's trying to figure out everything about the horse that he's on. It's like what was its predecessor, how did it become this way? Just sort of trying to understand the horse itself rather than what's going on.
Okay, yeah.
It's not a dice roll thing, it's just what he's doing.
I would like to make some sort of insight check to detect threat from.
Okay. Right. Make an insight and security roll.
Okie doke.
Yeah.
I have a talent called Constantly Watching. When you
Yes, you can
to detect danger or hidden enemies, reduced for difficulty by 1.
Okay. Then it's an optional roll, I'd say.
Okay.
Because you would reduce it to 0.
Yeah.
You can roll.
So how much momentum we got?
4.
I'll roll. Why not?
All right.
Why not? What could possibly
Don't say
go
it.
wrong?
Don't say it.
It could be raining.
You know what happens when you say things like that.
Yes, I do. Okay, that is 1 success.
All right. Okay. Well, they are. You are just by their demeanor. You can tell they are trained fighters. And they're slightly on edge. So they would be ready to react to a perceived threat.
Right. Okay.
Sir Knight,
Yes?
we are new to this lands. What can you tell us about your realm? We don't want to break any laws or customs.
You will learn when we arrive at the castle.
Shiny castle.
Yeah. There seems to be a reluctance to communicate.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm still sort of studying the animals and the like, trying to work out how they sort of bred them, trained them. Just basically just studying them.
For my mental image, do they look like humans? Or
Yes. What you can
Okay.
see under the armor, they look like humans.
It's TOS, so I mean, of course.
Everybody looks human.
They could have had a rubber forehead or some pointy ears.
Well, they're wearing helmets, so yeah, I'm quite sure.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not quite sure if there is anything you're missing. Right, and you arrive then at a built kind of into the mountain, a castle with a small village attached that is behind a wall. So the Timmy might have seen things like that on Earth if they survived as long.
It looks like
The castle's all Timmy.
like the castle of my grandmothers.
Your mother had a castle.
Yeah, she.
Anachronistic signs of anachronistic levels of technology.
You can't see any. It seems
My
to be medieval.
My family is still holding a grudge against me for losing the family's accent.
I never could tell that accent. All you humans sound the same.
I mean, I could try talking my accent, but that would probably make your ear bleed. Oh, wait, that's an option.
Silence. You hear from the.
Thank you.
And you enter the outer wall right through the village, and you see people going about their business, but there's also an air of tension in the around. They're not happy. You can recognize that.
Okay.
And then you are.
We're the cause.
Then you're brought into the castle itself, over a drawbridge.
Are there people around, like, noticeably, like, surprised to see us on the back of these mounts? Like,
Yes,
yeah, okay.
but that does not make them appear more scared.
No, I was just wondering how used to seeing strange people like us they might be.
Right.
Yeah.
Do they look like in a need of hero who will free them from oppression?
No, not that. There are
We're not
well-maintained
gods.
there are well-maintained houses, and the outer wall looks pretty sturdy, and they look worried but not frightened. So doesn't look like they are enslaved or anything.
Okay. Do they?
maybe.
Excuse me. Do they look like they're sort of well fed or?
Yeah,
For want of a better term?
they don't look famished.
Okay.
Maybe we have to defeat the dragon.
A dragon.
Excuse me, I say to the knight in front of me. Do you happen to have some sort of jail that you could put my colleague in?
That was out of character.
Sure. And he just growls, we'll see about that. That's for the king to decide. And you enter the castle courtyard, and there is a messenger who blows a trumpet to announce the return of the knights. And after a while, flanked by guards, somebody who apparently is the king steps out. He's wearing a crown and very finer robes. He's an older man, big, well built, with a beard.
Can I work out if he's actually human or not, just from looking at him?
He's not.
Okay.
He's not. What you can now see you already noticed in the village is that there are skin folds at the neck of these humanoids. Might be a evolutionary remnant. You have no idea.
But they're obviously not human.
They're obviously not human.
Okay.
Do they bow to their king?
Oh yeah.
Then I'll bow to.
I bow
All
as
right.
well.
Sure, why not?
Sure.
There's a marked delay as Remel sort of watches Timmy do it, and then Solak, and then the sort of you can almost see the shrug before he does it.
And your two companions bow as well. And then he says, "Well, so Steinal, you have brought..." And he kind of cocks his head, looks at you. "Guests, prisoners, criminals."
I look at the knight expectantly.
And he says, "We couldn't determine it ourselves. We thought it might be your grace's privilege to decide their fate." And they kind of push you off the mounts. Not violently, but in a very definite guess.
I'll sort of try and land as sort of dignified as possible without falling over.
Yeah, no, you're not being thrown off. It's just a very clear down.
Yep, still want to try and get off without sort of going splash.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, and then the knight says, "Excuse me, sire. They claim to serve a Queen Hamilton." He strokes his beard. "Queen Hamilton? I have not encountered that name. But who knows? The world is full of strange things. Are they armed?" "No, sire. We took their gear." "Excellent. Bring it to Sage Damien for examination, and I will have a chat with these folk."
How far away are these other two from me, roughly?
Which other two?
The non-red shirts, shall we say? So I've completely forgotten everyone's names. Sorry.
You're kind of standing all in a
That's
group.
fine, yeah.
They are standing close to you.
Okay. So I'm just trying to think if they're in range of a stage whisper, sort of like, "Be careful of your words."
They would be, yeah.
Okay. So sort of like direct it towards both of them. Choose how you answer his questions.
Your
Carefully.
Highness, Remel says.
Yes.
If you have not yet decided that we are not to be guests, I would feel more comfortable were I to accompany our items to your sage, so I can oversee.
That can be arranged. And he snaps and points to two of his guards. 3 of his guards.
Good thinking.
Accompany this man.
Thank you. Your Highness is
And
very wise.
one of them carries the saddlebags, and 2 of them are keeping a very close eye on you, with swords.
Well,
drawn.
that makes it mutual then, because my eyes are very keeping a very close eye on them.
And for the rest of you, enter.
Thank you, Your Grace, for letting us enter your castle and your home.
You're welcome. It's another question if you will leave it. And he gives that. It's not a threat. It's just a statement of fact.
Understood, Your Grace.
Sort of looking around, seeing if I can pick up on any clues that sort of seem to indicate how old this building may be, or is it truly ancient, or is it something that's just been made to look ancient?
It's not ancient, as in it has been built maybe at most 100 years ago.
Okay.
But it's not aged. It's just they built it like this.
Okay. Yeah.
So it seems to be the state of the art.
Okay. So it's in good condition. It looks legit.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. There are no plaster marble or anything.
Not like sort of anything peeling in the corner or something like that.
Nah. No wallpaper coming off.
Okay.
And he leads you to it's a great hall basically. There's a throne, there are tables, and he kind of places you at a table, and there are guards take position around you, and he sits on the opposite side.
After the king sat down, I sit down.
Oh no, you are being seated before that.
Also, okay.
The guards make it clear that you're supposed to, sit down, put your hands on the table.
That's exactly what it do. Making no threatening movements whatsoever, but still sort of trying to sort of take in everything I'm seeing.
Mm-hmm. Well, then tell me your names, your heritage, and your desire here in my land.
My name is difficult to translate into your language, Your Majesty, but the nearest translation would be Solek of Vulcan.
Okay.
I am Timothy McAllister from the clan of McAllisters from the town of Tunbridge, in the realm of Scotland.
Scotland, is that where this Queen Hamilton reigns?
Not exactly. I
Don't
was
overcomplicate it.
given into her service as a ward, and now am one of her proud knights.
Ah, I see. You're knights, you say. You look a little under-equipped for that.
Well, we prefer to travel light, and we are not on an conquering mission. We are on an exploring mission.
We are seekers of knowledge.
Oh, interesting. And tell me, which direction did you come from?
I look at Zurich.
I was trying to remember myself actually.
You can give a direction.
Basically, from the forest, I would say roughly from where the shuttle came from, but not exactly. So if anyone goes in that direction, they won't go directly to the shuttle. But we're not lying. Basically, I'm trying to tell the truth without giving away too much information.
And he gives a look that you might notice it to one of the knights guarding you, which you then, if you look over, see that is one of those that brought you here. And he just gives a very slight nod to indicate that yes, you came from let's say from the northern direction. Well, that is indeed interesting, but apparently you are not agents of my enemy. Also, you do not look like his agent.
How, if I may ask you, Grace, how does how does the agents of your enemy look?
Well, they are of our kind. They just work for him.
Because one of the missions our queen sent us in this lands are looking for other than servants of the kingdom we come of, who might be dressed similar to us.
I have not seen your kind of dress before.
We are technically of a religious order, Your Majesty. As I said before, we are seekers of knowledge. And yes, and for want of a better expression, we come in peace.
You seem to, but I have not seen any of your kind, and he indicates the four of you, before.
It is our first journey into these lands.
Apparently, otherwise we would have had this conversation before.
Indeed.
And in the meantime, we were cutting to Rimmel, who is being led up a tower.
Where else
To-
would a sage be?
Yeah. And you come into what could be described as a laboratory. He has a rudimentary telescope set up, and all kinds of charts and notes and samples of things. And you see the neck folds for him are drooping down deeper, which apparently is a sign of age. And he has long white hair. And the guards say, "Wise man, we are here to bring you equipment from strangers that we picked up." Oh, equipment from strangers. Give it here, give it here. And they, without touching it, they just empty the saddlebags carefully, but just turning them out on the table. And he he looks at it. And he brought it? Yes, wise man. Well, if you brought it, tell me, who are you? What is it?
These devices are merely for self-defense. And they offer no harm, for we who carried them offer you and your people no harm.
Alright, well. And he takes a cane he has lying close by, probably for walking longer distances, and he just kind of starts very gently but poking the equipment. And make a
This could go very badly.
I'm gonna let him do it as long as he doesn't look like he's poking. And if that starts happening, I might try and come up with something.
make an inside and inside and command roll.
Ooh, interesting.
That's a natural 1 and a natural 20.
Ooh.
Alright. I'm gonna take a threat for that. That's fine. You aren't at first. You're quite sure what you're doing, what he's doing, but at some point you notice that he is kind of relieved when his cane actually makes contact with whatever he's poking at.
Oh, interesting. Were you perhaps expecting something else, Mr. Sage?
I tend to expect the unexpected. That makes for less surprises.
You seem to think that it would be that it would lack physical form?
Yes, I do. Well, I did. Until I...
Have you encountered other such things in this world?
I have. I think we should head down to the Great Hall and discuss together with the king, but I will speak in your favor. Do not worry.
Thank you.
He starts to...
I presume you still wish to hold on to these for now.
For a while.
Okay.
But not indefinitely, I think.
No.
And he leads you down the stairs, and he's walking with the aid of Kane, so it's a bit slow.
I assist him if he's willing to accept the assistance.
He is. So tell me, young man, man or woman? Sorry.
I am a man of my species.
Right. You meant, yeah, well, just wasn't sure. Sorry. So you look different.
It is hard to deny. Yes, I am indeed different. I am from a far place. I had not encountered people such as yours until we journeyed to this part of the world.
This part of the world, you say? Or do you mean this world?
That's what I said. So is he? Can I make an see whether he's just fishing here?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Out of character, it's like, oh, this is getting interesting.
So what will that be? That will be insight and
Trust the mage that who knows
successes.
what's going on.
2 successes.
Yeah.
Right. He apparently has an idea that he tries to confirm by fishing. He's not just shooting the breeze.
In that case, I just say to him, "I am from a distant place."
Then maybe you can be of assistance with our problem, because I think it might have a similar origin.
Myself and my colleagues would be very glad to hear of your problem, and if it is possible for us to do so within the policies of our faith, then we'll be glad to render assistance.
It's like you heard that.
I imagine it's sort of out character. I imagine it's probably some kind of standard protocol for dealing with these kind of things. So
Might make sense, yeah. And you then reach the Great Hall.
And that, in short, is the story of our great hero William Wallace, Your Highness.
The ending is a bit gruesome. Sorry, Your Highness. The ending is a bit gruesome for my tastes, but otherwise, it is very interesting. Well told, and he claps his big hand on your shoulder with force. Yeah.
Thank you, Your Grace.
the best way to describe Sodic's expression right now is if he's trying to leave his body.
Yeah, and you enter. Rimal enters with the sage. Your Highness, they seem to be friendly. And he was kind of looking for a word and then settled on friendly. That is good to hear. Then I think it is time to offer you my hospitality and food and drink. And he claps his hands twice.
Finally, a feast.
It's like, Lieutenant, sort of trying to subtly, he's like, we must be careful what we eat and drink here, without offending him. So, if you will allow me, Your Majesty, one moment to perform a blessing over the food.
Well, you could wait until it has arrived, but
When it's
yes, you
when
may
it's-
bless it.
when it arrives.
Stage whisper. So, like, we have to eat and drink this, and then we are under his protection, and he can't harm us.
I am aware of that. That is why I wish to be performing a blessing on the food. And as I'm saying
may
that,
I help you
as I'm
do
saying that,
a
I'm sort of
seat, I'd say?
surreptitiously tapping the tricorder.
So you didn't give your tricorder away?
No,
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Just the 3 security people gave their Type 2 phasers away.
and I've got a Type 1 phaser
Okay.
on my tricorder.
Yes. But the king looks at you. You do not have to worry about me poisoning you unless you are afraid that your stomachs cannot handle the food we grow here.
Your Grace,
Yes.
you might notice. Of
He heard
course,
that.
I've noticed the other color and his ears. He is on a and his way to talk. He's of a very special religious god. He has to do that in duty to his god.
Well, then I shall not stop him, even if I do not hold truck. Well, not truck, because he wouldn't say that.
Definitely not.
Even though I do not,
It might mean this word over it.
even though we do not bother with
Do not hold wagon.
with deities, with deities of any kind in this place.
And so give a respectful nod. Thank you for your accommodation.
You're guests now, and I think I should treat you respectfully. And the sage sits down next to the king, and Rimal is offered a seat. And the guards now, the king waves, and the guards, they don't leave the room, but they head to the sides.
Where we
To take
know
our
they're
position.
there.
Yes, you know they're there, but they are not standing right behind you anymore.
Your Highness, the sage indicated you were having some troubles that he thought perhaps we could assist with.
Yes, indeed. It started 2 summers ago, when there was a comet falling from the sky, and with it, it brought to power an evil sorcerer. He goes by the name of Malfaxium and has been gathering power and influence.
Interesting.
This does seem to be something that we could perhaps assist with.
You
our
can.
order- well, one of the practices of our order is to defend the helpless against vile sorceries.
Yeah.
We are.
Our speciality, you might say.
Because we have been unable to defend ourselves properly against his magics.
Was that the enemy you were talking about, Your Grace?
Yes. And sometimes his minions come dressed in strange garb to confuse us. But we have grown vigilant.
What does this garb look like?
It is different. But it is close fitting as yours, mostly.
Are there any markings or symbol of
No.
the houses to which they might belong?
None. They apparently do not have a system of nobility and honor.
And what?
Savages.
Filthy.
And,
No, that's the Klingon one. I was trying to know.
and what colors do they wear? Like, do they wear black and gold or gray and black with some purple?
I think mostly the color I have seen on them is blue.
Hmm.
And by then the food arrives.
The sorcerer that you mentioned,
Yes.
can you describe the appearance of this?
And he looks over to the sage. We have only seen him once so far. He appears like us in form. Except he has a smooth neck and his head has protrusions that are similar to the old tales of underworld spirits.
These protrusions, are they V-shaped or are they running from the head down to the nose?
Neither. They are at the, and he indicates kind of the back of the head.
And all the dragons are currently thinking about that
when I
dragon.
was like, I can hear all our mental cogs
Track
whirring
law
at this point.
is
It's just
turning.
like buffering. Okay, bye-bye.
Well, I've not twigged it yet, so yeah.
All right, so the food arrives, and he has only come to us once to demand our vassalage, but we decided against it. And what we hear from our scouts, he has been conquering nearer territories to his lair for now. But it is only a matter of time until he will make an attempt to conquer us.
Have his troops been doing anything else within the conquered territories? For example, mining or construction?
They have been, yes, he is creating things that are strange to behold, what I've been relayed. I have not seen them myself. I'm an old man. I'm not going out there spying.
How do those things look like?
How to describe? It. They are like a knight's armor, but there's nobody inside. But smoke? That's what I've been told.
You described sorceries. What type
Yes.
of sorcery?
He can summon beasts. He can change the weather. He can strike his foes down with a look.
Nice. Fascinating.
It sounds like me that he might be a powerful illusionist who might also can build the word would be probably golems. Those creatures, those knights.
They're not armored creatures. They are just looking like pieces of armor on the floor, on the ground.
On the ground.
Yes. He's using them for something. We aren't sure what.
They are not. They don't move.
No.
They just lie there.
Yes, you can make a science and reason roll.
Probably on.
Somebody who wants to.
Oh, I definitely want to.
I'll make it one of these ones, especially because my science is 5 and my reason's 12.
My reason is 11 and my science is 4.
That is always fun.
I'll leave it to you two.
Does any of my focus help?
Yeah.
What are your foci again?
You go
I don't have
first.
the characters open.
Those who might work are either jury rigging or ancient technologies.
Ancient technology.
I've also got. I don't know if any of these are appropriate. Physics, genetics, computers, astrophysics, probably not linguistics, and xenobiology.
No.
Okay.
The DC was?
You have only a rough description, so I'd say 2.
Oh, I'm going to take a couple of momentum points for this.
Me too.
So you're taking 2 and I'm taking 2, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whee!
Right, do you want the good news or the bad news?
Shall I start then?
You go first.
I have 5 successes thanks to a critical success.
Ooh.
Right.
Nice.
Now, how have you screwed that up for us, Chris?
Right. I got 2 successes and a complication.
Oh, that is fine. I'll just take the threat. Thank you.
My bad.
Okay. Putting your heads together, you discuss a bit, and then Lieutenant Timmy, you have this stroke in a sec. Stroke of inspiration. Not the other guy.
Oh my god! Guys, and
His
it wasn't
brain
even
actually
in
starts
action.
working and he has a stroke.
You have the stroke of inspiration. This sounds like a primitive form of steam engines, which are definitely not in the same level of development as apparently the rest of the planet is.
But that's good to know, because steam engines have also 1 or 2 weak points.
Yeah, but somebody apparently is trying to further industrialization here. Fast tracking it, one might say.
Where does the sorcerer have this lair?
He resides to the east, over the Cavern Mountains. It's about 4 days' ride. The mountains is what have kept us safe for now.
If you're willing, Your Grace, I think we would gladly help you with your sorcerer problem, but we would need to do this alone, and we need to roughly 5 days time.
I have lost enough men to this menace. Go ahead. And at that moment, you hear bells being rung outside, and a messenger runs in yelling, "Attack!" And that's where we're gonna take our break.
Good. I need a little
Oh
break.
man, yeah, you can leave the D&D system, but you can't leave the D&D DM.
It's what came to my mind.
I'm sure Timmy has all of this knowledge because he is an ardent D&D player.
Yes.
Oh, probably.
Yeah, he's just fighting for the damsel in distress.
So I'm just
Then he can make another first contact.
I'm just going through the chat at the moment. All to the
Yeah.
distress signals. Yep. Speciality equals annoying for Andreas for Timmy McAllister.
The what?
Just reading, somebody in chat said
Yeah.
that they love your character already.
Thank you. The personality was a short improvisation at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, it's can't wait for this to go wrong. Thanks for the vote of confidence. That's pretty much the standard division on here. It's not a case of if it goes wrong, it's a case of how's it going to go wrong and how are we going to get out of it. Okay, so yeah, we're going to have a little break for a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
And go grab yourself a cup of tea, grab a drink, whatever. I'm going to put on the pause screen, make sure I mute everything because I didn't last time. And so yeah, be back in a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
There we go. Let's make sure I mute that.
And you actually managed to save your first red shirt. I'm proud of you.
Right. I think I may have pressed something wrong there. Can you all hear us correctly? As this is more for chat than you lot. Can you actually hear us?
When did we save our red shirts?
There was a chance that one of them would have died when you were captured.
Well, damn, we're being too competent.
They're not true red shirts, you know. You
First time for everything.
We should be Captain Kirking this, getting everyone killed.
That's why I asked, because of the Prime Directive. He practically breaks that every second episode.
He does, but it's in season 2. First mentioned in season 1, and then actually excessively mentioned in the end of season 2. But he just apparently ignores it. But
Yeah, we all know
be.
that
One second.
Kirk doesn't care for the rules.
the proper mention is in Bread and Circuses.
Okay.
What
What about now?
Okay.
I think I know what it is. I'm just sorting out an audio issue. I think I know what it might be.
Okay.
We're still chatting away.
Yeah, so you guys keep chatting because apparently it's affecting you lot, but it's not affecting me. So I just want to make sure this is.
Bread and circuses were when they were in the Rome-inspired civilization.
Yes,
Right?
but when they right, but where it's on TV, but it's Roman gladiators. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think I know what that issue was. Okay, so it's just that when I was changing the when I was changing the things earlier, I was tweaking a few settings. I think that I may have set something a bit wrong, but it looks like it's fixed now. Fingers crossed.
Okay. Yeah. No, but they mentioned the no identification of self or mission, no interference with the social development of said planet, no references to space or the fact that there are other worlds or civilizations.
Yeah.
I didn't do that. That's far.
No. But I actually checked
we
that.
can find another civilization, but I think in the context of the Prime Directive,
Yeah,
realm.
you're doing okay. No, but I actually checked that for my preparation when the Prime Directive was mentioned.
I was trying to remember when actually in the timeline they officially brought it in. It was before Kirk's era, wasn't it? But they never actually mentioned it until sort of like that towards the end of season 1.
And end of season 1, there is a mention of it.
Yeah.
But Kirk keeps ignoring it, yeah.
Of course, yeah. It's more of a guideline for him.
How would he sleep with anyone if he obeyed the rules? You know.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, I'm going to close down, cover up chat again, and we're going to progress with part 2.
Yes.
Just bear me one moment. Get everything set up. Okay.
So commercial is over,
Yeah, pretty much.
and we return to the messenger that runs in and yells, "Attack!" Why do you hear alarm
did the
bells?
sage bring the satchel with the weapons down with us?
No, they're still in this tower.
Shit.
Oops. We have
Then,
one Type 1
run and
phaser.
get them then.
No, you have 2.
We have 2 Type 1 phasers. You're all right,
Sorry.
you okay, Lieutenant?
Right. So, what do you do?
What?
Run outside with the guards and see who is attacking and what is attacking, maybe?
Okay.
If it was possible, we should let them handle this because we really don't want to give away we've got magic wands.
Like, I sort of I said to Remmel, where are, and you know, it's without trying to say of the word, sort of the items.
In the Sage's Tower.
Yeah, I believe it would be prudent for us to get them back.
Yes.
And we need
My
to
thoughts
help
exactly,
where
and
we...
in fact, I'm off.
Okay.
And I will help where I can without breaking any rules. And I run out with the guards.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm a builder.
The 2 red shirts run with you.
Mhm.
And as you run out, you can see in the sky coming towards the settlement is a huge winged lizard.
Oh, his head is going to inflate like nobody's business.
Without taking my eyes off of it. Lieutenant, I do believe I owe you an apology.
And it lets out a roar that shakes you to your core. And then...
Can I make a sensor check if it's real? Or,
Let's all scan it with the tricorder sort of thing.
yeah.
Okay, make a reason and science roll, or inside and science.
Difficulty?
1.
One success.
Okay.
Yay.
You do not get any readings from it.
It's a holographic projection.
And as you say that, the thing does a sweep, and it opens its maw, and fire streaks out. You can see the fire, you can feel the heat, and it hits Anson Thelman and some of the knights, and they fall to the ground, burning and screaming.
Well, I'm so glad one of us is a doctor.
Timmy stands up.
Yes. If that is a hologram, it is the most effective one. I'll just go steaming over to, what remains of our our red shirt and see if I can do anything.
Yeah, Anson Thelman is dead.
Are his boots smoking?
No,
Ah!
they are not. And after that, the creature actually apparently just was a strafing run because it flies off.
As it's going around, can I quickly try and scan it as well?
Yeah, make the same roll.
Ooh, 2 successes.
Okay, it is not real.
Fascinating.
Okay.
So we need to have an holo inventor nearby, a very strong one.
I will point out that the hologram capabilities in TOS is not as nearly as good as it is in Next Generation.
That's why I am very confused at the moment.
But you can you can make a reason and what is it? Hold on. Reason and medicine. Difficulty of 1.
Yeah, but still, medicine.
Because he's standing there.
1 success.
Okay, that is enough. You can see that Anson Thelman looks like he has been burned via the reaction of the body. There are no outside burn marks,
So
but the skin has blistered. There is definitely the smell of charred meat. But there are no burn wounds on the outside of the body.
Ooh. So as I'm looking at it going, like, first one eyebrow goes up, then the other one. It's like, most unusual. Can I sort of quickly look around the ground as well to see if the ground's been burnt, or is it just him?
Yeah, it's him and 4 knights.
Okay, just I mean, is there, like, say, ignoring the bodies, is there any other physical evidence that these people have been burnt?
Nope.
Can I make a reason and engineering roll to calculate the options, what technology and what capacities would be needed to achieve a holographic image like that and that effect on the victims?
You can make that roll.
The DC?
2.
Yeah, I'll take 2 momentum
Yeah, we've got enough.
because I want to know. I want to have answers now.
I think Chris is really intrigued by this, but Solek is like, most curious.
4 successes.
Nice. Okay, so you take your momentum back. If it is technological means, it would be about 200 years in the future.
But it has to be technology. Magic doesn't exist.
I have a player theory. My character isn't there, but it wouldn't be anyway. So I want Solak to be my mouthpiece for this theory, if you like it.
I don't know. I just want to criticise. This is sort of out of character. What was that quote from Arthur C. Clarke about magic and technology? I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember.
Any sufficient
Any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic.
Yeah.
That's why that was just me. I was trying to remember it. So okay.
Okay, so from a narrative, I think this is a biological reaction that could somehow be remotely triggered, and I think it's to do with the pollen that we've all been inhaling. And I think that we need to ask them how long that pollen has been in the world. Like, did it show up after sorcery?
Is there any sort of role I can make to suddenly get this inspiration and idea?
Make
make its way through the ether.
Insight and science, yeah.
Okay, that's fair enough. Sudden inspiration.
Yep. Cool.
1 success. So, okay, it's the meta pigeon.
Yeah. I mean, it might be related, yes.
Yes.
But there might be a correlation.
Okay. Sort of looking around. Sort of get out the little pollen sample I took earlier, and see if there's any correlation or link, anything that might link the two. Like, is there any correlation between, like, is there any chemical that might be in the pollen, or biological signature? Is that in the body as well? If that makes sense. I want to see if there's like a link between the two.
Okay, you can make an insight and science roll. DC 3.
I'm taking 2 momentum for this.
Take what you need.
Screw it, I'm taking 3. Screw it, I'm going all out. I'm taking 3.
And being a Vulcan, you might actually have, yeah.
Because I've also got xenobiology is one of my focuses.
That does not help in this case.
Okay.
But being a Vulcan does.
Ooh. Right. Okay. 5 successes.
Ooh.
So it's like one of them was a critical. I will say that.
Right. Do you want to take the momentum, or do you want more information?
Can I take a mixture, or is it all in all?
Now you can take a mixture. Yeah.
Okay, I will get us 3 momentum back then, and I'll take the rest as the inspiration, idea, whatever you want to call it.
Wasn't the difficulty 3?
Yes, it was.
Oh, okay. Oh, in that case,
We would only get 2 back.
In that case, I won't take the momentum back then.
Okay. Right. Okay. So yes, there seems to be a correlation.
Right.
And now that you think on what might be going on here and the reaction of the body, and being a Vulcan, you get the idea that something might have triggered the brain to react to the image.
Ooh.
And now, looking at these spores, you definitely detect an element that you are pretty sure would increase telepathic abilities and effects.
Fascinating. I believe we are dealing with a psychosomatic response triggered off by some form of telepathy.
In other words, magic.
Specifically, Lieutenant, if I had to use such a term, brain magic.
Damn it, we're dealing with mind players.
Yeah.
You nearly got me. You nearly got me.
One day.
But not today.
Not today. Yes, it's like I believe that there is some kind of telepathic link with these spores, pollen. It's acting as some kind of carrier or amplifier, maybe. I'd have to spend more time studying this, but
And just because you left 2 momentum untouched,
yes.
you also do a quick scan of the other victims,
Mhm.
and you detect no capability for telepathy in the natives of this planet.
Interesting.
Okay, it's time to make a status update, and I go to a quiet area where I'm not observed.
He wishes to. He wishes to pray
Yeah.
over the souls of the fallen.
Did it, Lieutenant McAllister to the Ardent?
Yeah,